Hello everybody, welcome back. We're here with the results of another $1,000 strap search. Got the $1,000 here that I searched through, and this is the stack of finds for the week. So we're going to start it off with some star notes here. This is 2017, starting with the newest, going back to the oldest. Found a few star notes this week. Vast majority of these star notes are not worth anything. I look them up to see if they're from a short printed run or not. If they are, obviously I hold on to them. If not, I use these to replace what I take from straps. You can see there's one there. So I think this is the last one that I found. It's 2013. Yeah, now we're moving on to some of the older ones. The 2003 here. Like I said, most of these will get spent on something later on down the road. I don't hold on to them forever. As a matter of fact, I just recently went through and pulled out a bunch of the 2003 and just a bunch of like the 90s ones that I have that were old, that aren't in good shape and aren't really worth anything. So I have something to show you guys there at the end here. I'll show you what I was able to get with all of those $1 bills that I pulled out. So got to start building that back up, so the next time I see something really cool at the coin shop that I want, I can go ahead and get it. And of course, I didn't get rid of all of them, but I did get rid of quite a few. This one is one that I would probably hold on to just because it's in better shape. Yeah, it's still got a lot of crisp. It's still really crisp. That's one that I would definitely hold on to. This is the only 2001 that I was able to find. They are kind of few and far between. Thought that was kind of cool. Finding a 1999 star note. That's one I would probably hold on to, I would imagine. And this is the oldest find for the hunt. Not one that I needed for the book, but still, it's a 1969 series. You don't hardly ever find those. It's from Chicago, one of the most common ones for me to find around here. This one I held on to because it's got 6 sixes. That was kind of a cool one. Figured I'd hold on to it. This is a potential upgrade. We've got a few potential upgrades here to check for. I think this is one that I recently found to complete the series, but it wasn't in very good shape. So I'm going to set that off to the side and see if that's an upgrade. This 2009 F from Fort Worth, see if that's an upgrade. It's in pretty good shape. And this last one is one that we actually needed for the album. That is a hole filler, this 2003 I. This will be the last 2003 that I need for the series. I'll have all 2003s after this, so I'll go ahead and set that off to the side. And yeah, before I put these in, I will show you guys what I was able to get with all of those $1 bills that I pulled. So I'm going to set those off to the side, put those over there, and right here is what I was able to get. So we've got a $1 and $2 bill. The $1 bill is in almost uncirculated condition. It's got a few minor creases in it, but nothing serious. All of the corners are still in good shape, and it's still overall in really good shape here. I believe what that is meant to be there on the obverse of the bill is Columbus in the New World. And the $2 bill, of course, you got Jefferson and the Capitol building. These are both Teehee and Burke are the signatories on both of these notes. And these are legal tender dollars. So following the crisis during the Civil War, the United States needed to fund the war effort and, pay their soldiers and keep from going under. So they created legal tender notes. The first series was in the early war, 1862, 1863, around in there. and those were not backed by anything. They were issued by the federal government. Before then, banknotes were issued by individual banks. You know, they were just, each bank would print their own, and it was really confusing because you wouldn't know how solvent a bank was. You know, if you were a grocer and somebody from a couple towns away came in with a bank from their town that you didn't know, like you had no idea of knowing if the money was good. Essentially, you know, the bank could have closed down and that money could be worthless. So the federal government stepped in and started to print notes that were backed by nothing but the say-so of the federal government. You know, these are just legal tender. They're not backed by anything. You know, they're not backed by gold or silver or anything like that. This is just money that the United States created to fund the war effort, essentially, and then it just kept on going. These are both series of 1917. There's a series there, and where's the series on this one? 1917 right there. And these also both have the act of March the 3rd, 1863, which was the act that has the authorization to create these bills. And what I think is really cool about it, this is what's known as a sawhorse note because of the X there. It reminded people of sawhorses. But what I think is really cool is if you look in there. Let's see, okay, there we go. It's got the punishment for counterfeiting it. So counterfeiter altering this note or passing any counterfeit or alteration of it, or having in possession any false or counterfeit plate or impression of it, or any paper made in imitation of the paper of which this is printed, is a felony and is punishable by a fine of $5,000 or 15 years imprisonment at hard labor or both. And it's got the same thing here on this one. It's got the penalty. And up there at the top, it says, this note is a legal tender at its face value for all debts, public and private, except duties on imports or interest on the public debt. So overall, I think these are pretty cool. I pulled just over $300 in $1 bills and was able to pick these both up. You know, I had to throw a little bit of money down on top of it. Something else I do when I'm at work, I'll save old 5s, 10s, and 20s that I find. You know, the classic old small head that kind of looks like these, as well as the first series of the large head before we got the color ones that we have now. I also hold on to those, so I was able to spend some of those plus the $300 and pick these up. So I think it's definitely worth holding on to those old ones, if for nothing else, just to use as a savings account to buy stuff like that when it pops up, you know, when it's available. Stuff like this typically doesn't last too long in my local coin shop, so I like to snap it up when I can. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff away and get out the other binder so we can see if any of these are upgrades and add the one, this 2003 Minnesota. So give me just a second here, and I will get it all set up and see you guys in just a second. All right, got the main binder out here, and the first note that I found that thought was potentially an upgrade is definitely not. That one in there is in really good shape compared to this one, so I'll set that aside, and that is not an upgrade. So next stop is 2003 to add the last 2003 note that we needed for the collection. I'm looking for Fort Worth. Ooh, that's one I'd like to upgrade. Definitely. Okay. I will go here. So let me move. Move all these down here. GH and I is going to go right there. Now, the last one that we have as a potential upgrade is 2009. So that's the one that was in there, and that's the one that we're checking to see if it's an upgrade. It's a tough decision. They're both in really good shape, but I think the one that we just found is a slight upgrade. Not by much, though. So I'll go ahead and set that off to the side. I think that should just about do it for us. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Please give me a like, comment, and a subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next strap search.